Welcome. Welcome to a great celebration of 100 years of the Church of the Nazarene. This wonderful denomination had its founding 100 years ago in a small town up in northern Texas called Pilot Point. If we were to look at an old-fashioned map, it would be way up here, not far from the border. The founder of the denomination has an interesting name, Phineas Bresee. There's a picture of the old gentleman. He lived to be 78 years old and was actually 70 when he founded the denomination. One of the interesting facts about Pilot Point was they met there and they put up a tent. They erected a tent and had what was known as the Hallelujah March. There were too many people just to sit in the tent, so they marched around the tent in a glorious day called the Hallelujah March. This kind of kicked off, as it were, the foundings of this new denomination. Here in this small picture, we actually see people marching around the tent. This was the very beginnings of this new church called the Church of the Nazarene. We welcome you to visit the display because we have pictures of Reverend Bresee, Dr. Bresee, and his associate, Dr. Whitney. And Dr. Whitney was a physician. He later moved to California and was the second president of the University of Southern California. And we also honor John Wesley because it's his theology that is followed primarily by the Church of the Nazarene. A wonderful book written by Phineas Bresee about him is The Prince in Israel. And here is a book by John Wesley of 10 of his most precious and timeless messages. On display, and we hope you will look at these things, are all these great leaders of the past who helped form the church. And also, if you've enjoyed your membership in the church, you're welcome to come and actually write a little note and become part of our history. In this display, we have a replica of the Scottsville Nazarene campground. The campground, as you would see it today, is perhaps a little different, but it was like this from 1940 up until 1987. The old dining halls, the cabins, the youth tabernacle, the main tabernacle, all still the same in 1987. In that time, it was not so modern, and people had to raise the windows just for air circulation in those cabins. And then there was sawdust on the floor of the tabernacle. Take time to read an article verbally given by Interim General Manager Mr. Dan Hammeter of Scottsville Campgrounds and how we obtained the property. Read the names on the plaque of the many ministers who preached there and the year listed beside their names. There are several stands over here, and we have one family that had 3 Nazarene ministers in the same family. They were known as the Northcutts. The elder, Mrs. Odell Northcutt, Reverend Northcutt, will in December be 95. Her next younger brother, Claude Northcutt, who lives in Levelland, Texas, will be 93 in October, and he pastored churches in West Texas District. And then another younger brother, Emmett Northcutt, who's 91. On this display, we have Pilot Point today. We have all the celebration, and we have a church. And we have here pictures of the current pastor and his wife. That is the Reverend John Johnston and Joyce. They're in their church, which was built 10 years ago, but they've been pastors of this church for the past 21 years. The church has had a lot of emphasis on its music, and please notice the different types of worship and praise hymn books. And in this particular volume we have the writers of hymns and the various hymns that they wrote. Many wrote a lot of different hymns, and this is the background of the hymnal of the Church of the Nazarene. The Nazarene Church has founded many colleges, and we have at least 8 recorded here, from Bible school up through regular college, universities, and even the Nazarene Theological Seminary. The church had an emphasis not only on beautiful music, but on education. Our church is missional. It has been said that the Church of the Nazarene is certainly in the top 5 evangelical denominations of this country in sending missionaries all around the world. We thank God for the vision of the church and their obedience to the call to go into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. Please read some of the articles by our missionaries and celebrate the successes they've had as missionaries, and the thought that many people whom we will never see or never have an opportunity to know about will be sharing the pleasures of heaven with us. Finally, I want to encourage you to celebrate our own church at the Clear Lake Church of the Nazarene. Here is the ceremony when they dedicated the sanctuary in this new church, and a lot of people that you might recognize in that photo. So on behalf of our beloved pastor, Pastor Don Ballard, and our esteemed District Superintendent Dwayne Schrader, celebrate with us the 100 years of your church, the Church of the Nazarene.
Holy, 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 merciful and mighty, God in 3 persons, blessed Trinity.